I bet you can guess by the title of this YouTube video what it is that we're about to talk about. Rapture date setting is unchristian, specifically because we're not supposed to know the date or the hour of that specific event, all right? And I try to tell people this, but I've had the Revelation 12 sign argument, and I'll argue till I'm blue in the face. Revelation 12 was never about rapture. There might be other passages in the Bible that refer to something of that event, but Revelation 12 is not about that. And the months just pass by, and the dates just keep getting set, and the dates just keep getting set. And I think that is a stress that is being put on themselves that really doesn't need to be there. All right. There's just so many wonderful things waiting to happen. And I had a really interesting experience on a web YouTube page, because Billy Graham died. And there was one person, just one, who said, "Oh, when Billy Graham dies, rapture's imminent." And everybody latched onto that so hard and so fast and just burned off with it. I mean, just, oh, we're fixing to get raptured. See, that's just more proof. I'm like, I was just put on there, hey, we've still got to build the temple. And they're giving me all this grief about it. And at some point, I was being told that I was being too hard nosed with the Bible on a Christian YouTube page, which I thought was hilarious, because you want to talk about Jesus coming and Jesus' own word in Matthew 24, it says, when the abomination of desolation happens, well, in order for that to happen, the temple has to be rebuilt, see? So that really cancels out Billy Graham's prophecy that the rapture is imminent, because Daniel 9:25 says that it's going to take 15 months from the moment the call goes out to rebuild it to the time it's finished, right? Okay, well, we we're having issues just getting an embassy in Jerusalem. But speaking of, Trump has decided that he's going to get some kind of initial form of the embassy in Jerusalem on May 14th of this year to commemorate the anniversary of when Israel became a state 70 years ago. Now, it's not going to be like the entire staff, it's not like a finished product or anything, but it is an initial step. And, so once you look at it the right way, we are going in the direction of getting that temple built. Israel is the timepiece in this whole shebang bang, all right? And there are steps being made in that direction. Prophecy is a chain of events being fulfilled, all right? And you can't jump the gun and say, oh, well, Billy Graham died, we're going to be raptured, okay? He really was, from what I could see, the only one. There was a couple of guys that I saw that talked about it other than this guy, but what they said was they were expecting a revealing to happen. Now, one guy's name I don't remember, but the other one's name was Kim Clement, all right? And he said that something was going to be revealed, which is what I've been saying all along. The mysteries of God are about to be revealed to us. This is the apocalypse, right? And the seven seals of the apocalypse, is part of the revealing. That's what apocalypse means, right? And God said that nothing is ever destroyed, not a nation, not a city, not a person, unless they are warned first. And God sends the word and he sends the warning first, right? And that's what part of the apocalypse is about, is the warning period, okay? For us to get it all straight in our heads. And don't tell me those horsemen aren't riding, because Venezuela right now looks like those commercials I've been seeing all my life from Africa, all right? They have their bones showing like I did when I was sick. Like, they're starting to look like the Holocaust victims. They are really, really getting skinny, and that is scary. Third horseman and fourth horseman there, all right? Because they're talking about weighing food, and that's what I just saw on one of these news articles is, he had to work to get food from the place he was working. They paid him with food, okay? And then I kind of looked up Venezuela and noticed that they were the country, not the people, but the politicians in Venezuela were part co-authors of the UN's paperwork that they did. They tried to say that they were going to divide Jerusalem forcefully and Israel forcefully with Barack Obama in December 23rd, 2016. They were, that country was co-author to that. So I'm like, oh my God, you know. And I was afraid to look at anything further. You know, I wanted to, but a lot of the list was kind of wiped by this time. And I'm like regretting not writing that list down. You know, have to look for it. But I know it was like, what, 153 to 7 the vote was, something like that. Anyway, but getting back to the point is you can't let your ears be tickled, okay? And that is what a lot of people that are doing these rapture date setting things are doing. They are letting their ears get tickled, and I'll tell you why. It's not based on fact, it's based on fear. And I'll tell you where that fear is coming from, because for as long as I could remember, no matter what I'd read in the Bible, no matter what I tried to tell Christians around here, they'd always say, no, we're going to be raptured before anything bad happens. All right. In the last couple of years, you take a look around. It don't matter where you look in the world, something bad weather-wise is happening. It's crazy. It's sudden, like this 7.6 magnitude earthquake that happened in Papua New Guinea. There was no warning. It just went boom. Okay. And I still don't know if anybody got hurt or if everybody's okay, what's going on over there, because, you know, it's probably the middle of the night for them. But I'm sure we'll start hearing some news come in at some point. That was an incredible quake. I know there was some power in that. But to set a rapture date and ignore what the actual Bible says, that's Jesus' own words, you know, that we're waiting on the temple. You know, we've got seals that are still being popped. You know, the sixth seal isn't done, you know. We haven't had that sixth seal event. We haven't had the seventh seal event. And if we have the fifth seal event, we'd never know it, because that's something that occurs up in heaven. What we would be seeing is the horsemen riding. So part of this apocalypse, this whole thing, if seals are being popped, then we are up for the revealing, the warning first. And so until that abomination of desolation happens, we're not even going to get a sign of this coming until then. That, not for that event. Those are Jesus's words in Matthew 24. He had a whole list of things that we needed to go ahead and look for, and some things to just kind of, that happens all the time anyway, but let's go a little bit further and give you some more detail and some more detail. And when you see this and this happening, then you know something's up. All right, there'll be a sign in the sky, probably a big cross, beaming light cross in the sky is what I'm betting. But until then, don't be so afraid. Okay, there are good things coming. Don't let that fear grip you. And I'll tell you why it's such a bad thing to be so afraid that you'll latch on to anything that'll tell you that you're getting out of here. And a Christian, a real Christian that has a real relationship with God, shouldn't have any of that fear or angst at all. A Christian, a really deep one that has a real relationship, should have that peace that goes beyond understanding. It was Jesus who said that it's the evil ones that look for a sign. He's giving plenty of them. But like in history, most people didn't understand the signs. Most didn't. There was a select few who did. But most people at first didn't understand, okay? They had a lot of denial going on. And in this case, Revelation 12 being one of the key chapters, even though it was sealed until the end, it was one of the key chapters that preachers decided to use as, you know, proof of the rapture, which was a huge mistake, because it's obviously a chapter about some Jewish people, okay? Crown of 12 stars. That doesn't include Christians. That's talking about Jews, actual people. And they go, oh, no, 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 because we were grafted in. You're still not getting me. You can be grafted in to God's family, but you can't change your DNA. All right? That's bottom line. And If a lot of people say, well, we're all descended from Adam and Eve, well, then why does the Bible clearly differentiate between Gentiles and Jews? Okay, there is a difference, all right, but there's something special about that chapter that people see, even though the devil is chasing this chick down the entire story and her children. They're like, oh, that's the bride of Christ. What? Where did that even come from? All I see is some chick that's a Jew. It doesn't remind me of Christians. It doesn't remind me of the church. It reminds me of a people, which is going back to the whole underlying thing that Israel is the timepiece, and land is nothing without the people. And in the end, somebody in the Jewish way always comes up when it's an important time, especially for Israel. There's always somebody that God chooses. Now, why this woman is in this chapter, that's part of what is sealed. And all the presumptions that were made before should be out the door as of 9:23. You're here for a reason. You've either got to learn something, or you've got to teach something, or you've got to be refined in a certain way. But you need to have that relationship with God, not be latching on to some one person who says something that isn't even biblical. Because I looked in my Bible and I didn't find that anywhere. Billy Graham dies and we're going to get raptured. That nothing in that Bible had any detail whatsoever in any end time prophecy at all. Okay, so we're going to just let that go. Nobody's getting raptured right now. Not right now. And if it takes 15 months from the going out of the calling, going out forth for the temple to be rebuilt, well, we haven't even gotten the call for that yet. So every day that passes, we still have 15 months ahead of us. All right? Coming soon, yeah, can mean year, 2 years, 3 years. Okay, I'll give you that. But I'm seeing dates every month. Oh, it's next week. It's March 1st. Oh, it's at the super blood moon. It's like, that is what is trending on Christian YouTube vines right now. And they don't want to hear anything else, and I mean nothing else, not even the words of Jesus in Matthew 24, lest I be too hard-nosed about the Bible when we're talking about the very events that okay? So don't put yourself in that rut, because what you're looking at, if you don't learn to relax and go back to living your daily life and just this time, getting closer to God, take all those opportunities, do those saintly acts that you're supposed to be doing so you can get those jewels on your dress, your wedding dress, all right? Concentrate on that and look forward to the great revealing, all right? Because it's coming. The temple, it's coming, and it's going to be the greatest thing the world has ever seen. Stick around, and one day somebody's going to come around and be sick and tired of being sick and tired about hearing rapture date that goes by, and here comes another rapture date. It is unchristian. Please stop doing that, okay? Jesus said you're not going to know. So just stop that. Why don't we concentrate on what it is that we can figure out for now, all right? God bless. I'll talk to you soon.